Well, this is not a routine intro. Today we're stepping into a tender conversation about seasonal depression, the kind of struggle that arrives with winter, lingers in silence, and asks more of our strength than we sometimes have to give. This isn't a clinical breakdown. This is one woman's simple truth, how the seasons get heavy and how routines get harder. Some seasons don't change outside, they change you inside. And in this week's episode, I share my quiet battle with seasonal depression in the simplest words, the heaviness, the exhaustion, and the emotional static that winter brings. No experts, no filters, just honesty, small survival strategies, and a steady anchor of routine and grace. Hope doesn't always shine bright. Sometimes it flickers, and sometimes that's enough. Hi, and welcome to Stand Up and Redo with Petra DeMuse. I am overjoyed that you are here, ecstatic and thrilled. Actually, I am struggling to make this podcast right now. I'll be completely honest. This is a podcast about standing up to redo, but this morning I'm actually struggling just to get out of bed. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I want to talk in this particular episode about seasonal depression. And it is truly a thing that I know for me, I struggle with greatly. And I always think, oh no, I'm going to get through it this year. But when the holidays hit especially, it becomes just wickedly hard, to be honest with you. And I want to talk about it. I want to talk about what happens with depression for me. And maybe some people can relate to this. I don't think I've ever gotten clinically depressed actually that's not true. I have once. I remember after I had my second daughter, Julia, and I was really overwhelmed with two babies in school, breastfeeding, so my hormones were all over the place. And just slipping into a depression that was so deep, and I didn't even realize it until after I came out of it. And I just remember sitting, and I think for me, depression is, first it starts off with just, for me, random crying. Like I just feel overly emotional. And usually I'm fine when I'm with people, but when I'm alone, like if I get into a car, I'll cry, or if I'm alone, something will just overwhelm me. And it's weird. It's not even like the everyday challenges of life. It's more like being alone. And I feel like you can be lonely even when you're with other people too. So loneliness that's a hard thing for me to describe. But seasonal depression, I'm going to give you just a quick synopsis or a quick snapshot of what it is for me. For me, it's getting in my car and on a 3-hour drive when I usually will listen to music, I'll listen to a podcast. I'll be so excited to talk to somebody on the phone because I have a couple hours. I might call my mom and talk to her for 20 minutes. I might call my best friend, talk to her for like an hour. Or I might honestly put on country music or be so excited to listen to like 3 different podcasts that I don't know which one I want to listen to first. And when I'm in a usual state of not being depressed, that's me. That's my personality. That's just me. But on a time when I'm getting depressed, this is what happens to me. I can get into a car and go on a 3-hour ride and not do anything but just sit there. And I pay attention, of course, to the road. But I just go into a dark place and I don't put the radio on. Don't listen to a podcast. Don't call anybody. I just sit there in quiet. And I get so in my head that usual routine, like check things like, okay, Petra, did you put gas in the car? Okay, Petra, did you do this? Things slip a little bit. And around Christmas time is really hard. And I think the reason being is that you have your routine things that you have to do, and you might even try to do a little extra for some reason, like me, who tries to cram too much into too little time. And then you have to get a lot of other stuff done, joyful things. You have to get the ingredients for a special meal that you're going to make, and you're doing it at 10 o'clock at night. Or you have to wrap presents that are all piling up. Or you have to not forget anybody. You can't forget a person. So you have this pressure, or you might need money. Like, for some people, they're struggling just to figure out how they're going to afford their children's Christmas presents, and what are they going to put under the Christmas tree? How are they going to even get to the store to get the Christmas presents? Now, for me, that's not happening right now, but I remember when I was a younger woman, my gosh, that was like a huge stressor for me. And I know it is for a lot of people. But this I don't want to say undue stress, this overwhelming stress at Christmas time, if you're already struggling a little bit, that can throw you into like even a worse situation. And I don't know if this is true, and I'm not an expert, and I'm certainly not speaking with any kind of a professional guidance here. But for me, I always heard that depression was anxiety or anger turned inward. Now, I don't know if that's true. I'm speaking from what my experience is. A lot of times when I get depressed, it is because I've suffered some anxiety or great deal of stress for a certain amount of time. And then I do turn it inward. And then after that, I get depressed. And I'm there right now. And I think it's also, I am a big walker at night. Like, I like to hike at like 7 o'clock at night to 8 or 8:30. And I like to be outside in the daytime. I like to be outside, not inside. And last night, I'll give you a typical change in my day. I got home from the center at 5:30 and I didn't eat lunch. That's another thing around Christmas time. This is what I ate yesterday all day. I woke up, I did eat one of those little goofy, smushy, flat egg things at the hotel. I don't even know if it's real eggs. I ate one of those in the morning, with a coffee. And then when I was at work, I took an apple and peanut butter for lunch, which is my usual kind of healthy lunch if I don't bring food, if I don't order food at the center, or if they don't have food there. I will take fruit, like I'll take a banana, an apple, and 2 little peanut butters, and that might be what I eat. Well, yesterday I took my banana, my apple, and my peanut butter, and all I ended up eating was caramel popcorn and chocolates, because the center where I was working had a lot of candy and Christmas gifts from people. So that was my lunch, which does not do good if you're depressed. I went from eating extremely healthy, no sugar hardly at all, to every day around Christmas time. And I'm laughing, that's a good thing. Every day around Christmas time, my diet is pure sugar and caffeine. And I need to change my diet. So the other thing is, last night when I got back, I was starving. So I went over to the little restaurant across the street at like 5 o'clock and I got dinner. And then after that 5 o'clock dinner, I had to get Christmas presents. So I ran over to all these shops to buy Christmas presents for my family and my friends. And then I proceeded to realize I have to cook a huge breakfast on Christmas morning, and I will be driving home on Christmas Eve from work. So I decided, okay, it's like 9 o'clock at night and I'm in Walmart. So hence that was a day when I didn't exercise and I didn't do my routine in the morning, which is yoga, coffee, devotions, and now learning Italian. I know I don't sound like a person who's depressed, but I can tell you it's happening and I can feel it coming on. And just that car ride yesterday or the other day, the 3-hour car ride made me realize I'm getting there, and not wanting to even get out of bed and not wanting to even do the things that excite me and not even feeling the desire to do a routine thing and not even feeling just, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Like, I might put a little less makeup on. I might not style my hair in the morning. I might just toss it in a ponytail. And things that for me are usual things that I do every day. I never forget. I always want to look good when I go out in public. I just start slipping away. And what I've learned to do, and I'm not saying that everybody can do this, but when I feel it happening, I immediately know I have to force it. Like right now, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do my 15 minutes of yoga before I get in the shower to get to that's the hospital, the place that I have to be for work. And I'm going to force it. I'm going to force it. And it's hard. It's really, really hard. It's funny. I don't feel like calling anybody. I don't feel like talking to anybody because I don't even feel joyful enough to do that. So I get little spurts of joy and little things that make me laugh, and I try to hold on to those. But I can tell you, in the past, when I was younger, in my 20s, didn't understand what was happening, and I really let it grasp me. I let it get a hold of me, where I might just sit in my kitchen in a rocking chair for like 2 hours and like not even know what happened. Time just goes by. But as I've aged, I've learned the things I have to do is force it. I have to force my routine, which might be a struggle. Like I have to force that little Italian lesson that I'm doing every day on my little Duolingo. I have to force reading one chapter in my Bible, and I have to force doing yoga. And I force it, and it helps me. And then I've also learned exercise. Like I am going to tonight, honest to goodness, it is so cold here, but I decided that I'm going to take a 30-minute walk. I'm going to bundle up, just put my hat on, put my big funky gloves on. And even if it's like 20 degrees and there's snow outside, I'm going to walk outside, and I'm going to walk at least for 30 minutes. Even if I have to circle around a parking lot, I'm going to walk. And it seems like such an odd thing to help, but that also will help me and lift me out of seasonal depression. So this wasn't a podcast that I was planning on making for my Wednesday stand up and redo, but that's my stand up and redo. My stand up and redo is an acute stand up and redo. My stand up and redo is that tonight I'm going to walk 30 minutes. And this morning, right now, I'm going to get out of this darn bed and I'm going to do my little 10 minutes of yoga. I'm going to read one chapter in my Bible, and I'm going to do my little Duolingo Italian. And then I'm going to be off to work. And I'm going to just do the best I can today. And that's my stand up and redo. But I just wanted to share that with you. Simply because that's what's in my head right now. And I didn't have a submission for Wednesday. I did an amazing interview with my uncle, and I was going to switch that into audio format to come out tomorrow, Wednesday, in my podcast version, and go out to Spotify and Apple and all the different podcasts that I use, but the platforms that I use. But I don't have it ready yet, and I don't have my iPad here, and I'm at work. I really need to work. I'm at work, and my focus right now is not to do that, because I usually do and that's another thing. I usually do my podcast at like 10 o'clock at night, but last night I was at Walmart shopping for my Christmas breakfast for my family food. So I didn't do it last night. But so this is what you're hearing now for my Wednesday stand up and redo, is just how I've tried to manage, and sometimes successfully managed. And actually, it has helped me greatly. And this is one thing about aging, is to be wise. When I was young, I didn't understand depression. And I'm not saying that everybody can control it the way that I do. I would never discount that you might have it worse or have it more severe than me and need things like medication or therapy or just more than what I need. But I'm just saying, for me to force getting out of bed, force making myself walk tonight has really helped me through the years. And I hope that what I just shared with you will help you to stand up and redo. This is all part of this seasonal depression, right? I am just done for the week, but tomorrow is Christmas, and I'm so excited about Christmas Eve. And as much as I'm suffering and struggling with seasonal depression, I know that I am so blessed with a beautiful family, beautiful daughters, beautiful son, all of their husbands, and my son's girlfriend, and my grandchildren, and my mother, and just siblings, and I can't complain. So I almost feel ashamed to be seasonally depressed. But that's another thing, is you don't know why you're depressed sometimes, and you shouldn't feel guilty about it. Sometimes you just can't help it. And it's okay. And it's okay to be depressed sometimes. It's okay to have feelings, and you shouldn't beat yourself up. And I hope that you all have a beautiful holiday season, and that you actually like and subscribe to my podcast even after this one about seasonal depression. So this is my disclaimer. I'm not a professional, but I hope I'm relatable, and love you much, and have a beautiful, beautiful Christmas. Thank you.